When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
On today's Smart 7, Streeting warns of NHS stress, Trump meets Biden in Washington, and much more. It's Thursday, 14th of November. It's World Diabetes Day, and happy birthday, King Charles.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer was back from Azerbaijan and the COP29 summit in time for Wednesday's Prime Minister's Question Time. He faced new Tory leader Kemi Badenoch for the second time, and she was still pursuing the PM over the Labour budget. She's unimpressed by Chancellor Rachel Reeves' efforts, and in particular the rise in national insurance for employers.
It is clear that they had not thought through the impact of the budget, and this is the problem with having a copy and paste Chancellor. Did they not realise that care homes, GP surgeries, children's nurseries, hospices, and even charities have to pay employers' NI?
Starmer wasn't in the mood for a budget lecture from the Tories, however.
What did they deliver in 14 years? Low growth, stagnant economy, a disastrous mini-budget, a £22 billion pack hole. And now she wants to give me advice on running the economy. I don't want to be rude, but no, thank you very much.
We've grown accustomed to the crazy world of Donald Trump, but as America braces for 4 more years of the convicted felon, things look set to get considerably crazier than in 2016. The president-elect went to Washington on Wednesday for a surprisingly cordial meeting with President Joe Biden at the White House. He also met with Republican members of Congress, as it appears they will hold a narrow majority in the House along with the Senate. He joked about a third term and appeared to be delighted with his win.
Just a very nice gathering. Isn't it nice to win? It's nice to win. A lot of good friends in this room. So, you know we had like historic kind of numbers, especially for the president, but we won't get into that.
He's continued to appoint almost anyone who appeared on stage with him during his campaign to senior cabinet positions, including former Democrat Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence and problematic Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. Both of those may struggle to get through Senate hearings even with a Republican majority, and by picking 3 members of Congress for his team, he's already made it harder for Speaker Mike Johnson to control the House. Meanwhile, Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense is Fox News weekend presenter and military veteran Pete Hegseth. He's a colourful character who has been pinged for white supremacist-friendly tattoos and his very strong views on women in the military.
I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles. It hasn't made us more effective. Our institutions don't have to incentivize that in places where, over human history, men in those positions are more capable.
Health Secretary Wes Streeting warned on Wednesday that the proposed assisted dying bill may have previously unforeseen consequences for the NHS. He expressed concern that palliative care services may need to be expanded and that there might well be effects on other areas of the NHS budget. Streeting is planning to vote against the bill, and Downing Street had no comment to make on the Health Secretary's warning, apart from pointing out that MPs will have a free vote on the legislation. Streeting also spoke at the NHS Providers Conference in Liverpool on Wednesday to emphasise just how critical a role healthcare plays in society.
Unless our public services are modernised to meet the needs of our people, they'll become increasingly redundant and irrelevant to people's lives. The failure to reform the state to meet the needs of the people is one of the fertilisers of populism we see across liberal democracies.
There was more bad news from the Post Office on Wednesday as it announced that 115 wholly owned branches may have to close, which could put up to 1,100 jobs at risk. It comes as the inquiry into the Horizon IT scandal is continuing, with testimony from the European boss of Fujitsu that he can't be certain that the system is reliable even now. The contract is up for renewal next year, and Paul Patterson said the company is committed to paying compensation to those affected, but that they will wait until the inquiry is concluded. The new job threats have alarmed the Communication Workers Union, who say it's clear that no lesson have been learned from the chaotic mistakes of the past. Business Minister Gareth Thomas says it's time for change.
It's clear there needs to be significant cultural change at the Post Office to ensure it genuinely prioritises the needs of postmasters and delivers customers' needs far into the future.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, tributes to a star of stage and screen, and we find out why Captain Kane isn't happy. Right after this.
When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Brittany. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't out-train her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Welcome back.
The Nations League swings back into action on Thursday, with England suffering something of a personnel crisis. Harry Kane and team are due to face Greece on Thursday and the Republic of Ireland on Sunday in what will be temporary manager Lee Carsley's last 2 games in charge. But 9 players have withdrawn from the squad, some with injuries, but there's a suspicion that some are waiting for new manager Thomas Tuchel to arrive in the new year. Captain Kane is unimpressed, and he says playing for your country should be the only priority.
England comes before anything. England comes before club. England is the most important, thing you play as a professional footballer. So, and Gareth was, hot on that, and he weren't afraid to make decisions if, that started to drift from certain players.
Wednesday was a big day for fans of sexy men, and not just your regular sexy men. Oh no, the sexiest man alive. Yes, People magazine announced their annual celebration of men, and this time the cover star has not 1 but 2 limited edition covers to mark the occasion. He's stepping into the comfortable shoes of Patrick Dempsey, who was 2023's icon, and he is John Krasinski. You may know him from the US office, but he's also the brains behind A Quiet Place and the face of Jack Ryan. He told Stephen Colbert that it's been a tough secret to keep.
The only person I slipped and told was the day we did the shoot. I went to Matt Damon's birthday party. And when I walked in, he was having such a good birthday, and I was late to the party. And he was like, "Oh, man, why are you late?" And I was like, "Oh, I was doing this photo shoot." And he's like, "For what?" And I was like, "People sexist!" And yet again, I think he thought it was a bit, because he was like, "Oh, come here, man." And I was like, no congrats.
Much-loved actor and TV presenter Timothy West CBE passed away on Wednesday. He died in his sleep, according to his family, at 90 years of age. He leaves behind wife Prunella Scales and 3 children, Juliet, Samuel and Joseph. He was an instantly familiar face on stage and screen, appearing in both Coronation Street and EastEnders, along with Brass and Not Going Out. He also presented the charming Great Canal Journeys with his wife for 7 years from 2014. He was no stranger to Shakespeare and the classics, and memorably played Josiah Bounderby in a TV adaptation of Hard Times to great acclaim back in 1977. Rest in peace, Timothy.
My 10th birthday I spent in a ditch, and that was proper enough since I was born in one.
I hope 'twas a dry one for your poor mother's sake.
A foot of water in it.
Enough to give a baby a cold.
Cold? I was born with inflammation of the lungs.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.